Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I had absolutely not planned to do this video. First of all, it's late. Second of all, I'm not really sure if this is the type of movie that people who watch my reviews will want to watch. So, like I said in my last video, there's this cool special forces guy robbed the cartel movie called Triple Frontier. And I said, I'm thinking about reviewing it, but probably not because it's not really superheroes or sci-fi. And people pretty much agreed. So then I was on my Amazon Prime watch list, and I was like, oh, I'll check out Arrival. But I didn't think I was going to get a video at it because my assumption about what Arrival was is I kind of thought it was going to be more of a movie like Contact, or just more of just a lot more PBS. Actually, I thought it was going to be very PBS. I thought it was going to be about the military wants to shoot them, but she wants to understand them. And it's not that at all. Arrival is, first of all, a freaking fantastic movie. And I'm really kicking myself because I had 8 billion chances to see this. It was back in 2016 when it came out, and I had Movie Pass, and I was seeing like 3 movies a week. And I heard good things. Like I said, I remember the trailer looked a little blah, but it had good word of mouth for the people who did see it. And I guess it wasn't a hit, but it was. I checked, and it looks like it was profitable. It was like made for 47 million, made 200 million. It's actually pretty good, for what is a very, very, not low budget, but, well, it's not simple either. Let's just say there aren't giant space battles in it. So Arrival is about 12 ships. So what I was going to say is go see the movie and then come back. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I think it was on Netflix last year or something like that. But go see it and come back. All right, you're back. Um, so Arrival is about 12 ships arrive on Earth at the same time, and they park themselves just kind of wherever in several different countries, but not in any. It's not like V where they always go to like New York City, Shanghai, Moscow. It's like this is like out in the middle of a field in Montana. So the main character is Louise, played by Amy Adams. She was Lois Lane in the recent DCEU films. I mainly know her as from, if you ever seen the movie Nocturnal Animals, which is really, really good. It's by Tom Ford. That's the main thing I know her from. But she plays I don't know, linguist, something. And she's hired to speak to these aliens who basically they have these ships that float. Actually, I just read some of the trivia and some of the quotes from the production designers. So they float 28 feet above the ground. And they actually let you climb inside to a kind of little amphitheater and try to speak to them. You basically go, a hatch opens on the bottom, although we find out later it's actually the side, and then you kind of 0G get to walk into the little room, and then you can communicate with them if it's possible. So all these different countries are trying it, and we spend most of our time with the American contingent. So at first it's very frustrating because you only get a limited amount of time. I think they get like 20-30 minutes every 18 hours. And the aliens don't really speak, or they seem to have a sound communication, but they're never able to really crack it. What they do find is that they have this kind of, they're called heptapods. They have 7 legs, and they can spit kind of like ink or black smoke out of their arm, and then it can form symbols, and it forms entirely circular symbols. Then they start to determine that this is their language, and then they start kind of communicating that way. Meanwhile, there's some geopolitical stuff where after the word weapon comes out, a lot of countries start freaking out and basically saying we're about to preemptively strike these things. They're targeted all around the world. We're going to take it out. So where it gets so the first half is just kind of like there's aliens, there's some soldiers, they got a little camp, they're trying to, the first half of the movie is what I thought the entire movie was going to be, trying to decipher the aliens language, and a cerebral PBS type of take on sci-fi. But what we get is this really deep story about life choices and literally what makes up a life. So the big spoiler is, and they set this up quite well, that different type of languages form. It's not just oh, we say red and you say rojo, but there's structure to languages, and there's choices, all these different choices of words and phrases, and that it informs how your brain works. So what happens is people learn an alien language, and it makes your brain work the way these aliens, the heptapods, brains work, which is they don't really understand cause and effect. They don't, past, present, future are all kind of just meld together with them. So what happens, which is really, really fascinating, is at the beginning, through what you think are flashbacks, Amy Adams, Louise, she's living by herself, and she remembers a daughter who died at a very young age, I think like 10 or so, of some form of cancer. And talking about a husband who left her. Then she goes and she's working mainly with soldiers, but there's this other guy. By the way, I was a little pissed. It might not be a big deal to you, but on the poster, Jeremy Renner is wearing ACUs. That's the Army Combat Uniform. It's the gray digital pattern. That's when did that start? I think they started wearing that in like 2004, 2005. It was what I wore the entire time I was on the active duty Army, and then the second time and then on the Texas Army National Guard. But he's not a soldier at all. I forget where he comes from. He's not CIA or anything like that. He's some other kind of contractor. But since they're living at this Army camp, over time, Amy Adams, she starts wearing like fatigue pants and like what's it called? Jacket liner. And so I don't remember him ever wearing the full uniform, but she did wear parts of it. So the big twist is we find out that now that she can basically remember the future, she can do little time shenanigan things where she can tell herself in the future to do something in the past, and then she does it. And then the future, she gets the information, and then, goes like that. So she ends up figuring out a way to get the other countries to not attack these aliens. And one of the things I really liked about this is the aliens are asked why they came to Earth, and they say flat out, they say, we're here to help you because in the future we're going to need your help. It was actually 3,000 years in the future, I believe they say. I actually like that. I'm tired of spending usually it's like the whole movies to get that mystery, and they say it like in the middle. So what happens is, she's able to do some timey-wimey stuff, basically, and figure out how to ease tensions and make everyone kind of get on the same page. This is where it gets really, really great and really emotional. Her memories of her daughter dying are not the past, they're the future. It's after the aliens leave, her and Jeremy Renner, I forget his character's name, they start a relationship. Here's the problem. She knows their kid will die at a ridiculously young age of cancer. So earlier she had referred to her husband leaving her, and then when you start to see that it looks like her and him are going to get married, and you're starting to figure it out, she says he left because she made the wrong choice. And you're like, what's the wrong choice? And the wrong choice is that he, whatever, a year or two after the aliens leave, when they're married, he proposes to have a kid. And she thinks about it and accepts it, knowing that this kid is going to die at a very young age. And it's one of those things where actually it ended and it was very, very emotional. And I had to, go Google because some bits I didn't really understand. But basically, the story is about, your life is at one point she asks Jeremy Renner, she says, if you could see your whole life, all of it, the past and the present, the future, what would you change? And he's like, well, he didn't have a great answer. He goes, I just, tell how I feel more. And he asks her, do you want to have, and you can see she starts thinking, analytically, but then she's also thinking, yeah, we're going to lose this kid, but if I choose not, then this kid's never going to exist. And this is a part of, my life. The grief's a part of my life. The daughter, even though, she's not there. So it actually got like really deep and emotional for me because I was thinking, people I've lost, and you don't really know how long you have. Sometimes you have a really short amount of time and you just don't realize it. So you say, what would I have done? Would I, was it worth the pain? All this type of stuff. So in it, just being the greatest movie. It's based on either a novel or a novella. My research made it was a little vague, but just a great movie. It kind of did what, so it kind of, supposedly Interstellar beat it to the theaters by like 2 years, but I guess they were developing at the same time. So then when they found out, I guess the novella had a very similar ending to Interstellar, and it was just like, here's how to build a spaceship. But this one basically, there's this plot, hey, we're going to need your help in 3,000 years. Okay, bye. But it actually, I don't know how you describe it. It's not closure because it's a loop, but it ended up being this very small story about a woman kind of seeing her life in a different way. That, every part of her life, it's going to sound dumb, every part of her life was a part of her life. Like, the tragedies and failures and the loss and everything, it was all part of it. And she kind of has a choice to, maybe change her fate, because she's changed the fate of the world, with messing around. But she's basically like, this is my life. So really good movie. I'm not sure if this is the type of movie people want me to review on this channel. I think I do kind of more action-y sci-fi superhero, but tell me what you think about this video. Tell me what you think about the movie Arrival. Tell me if I got you to go see it. I'd really like to hear that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll have probably I'll do the new episode of Star Trek Discovery. I might bring back the Discovery, but I might just limit myself to 2 fingers of whiskey. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Thanks for watching.